Hello, I'm Chris Thompson, and welcome to another episode of Chris Speaks. I've been thinking about a few things. I've been thinking about Trump and how he's running his campaign on hate and turning people against each other. And I recently was watching a documentary with Noam Chomsky, and I was recently reading part of his book that's called Who Rules the World. And this is how it connects. Trump wants everybody hating everybody. Trump's hating on Muslims and hating on Mexicans and hating on minorities. And that's what the rich people want. That's what they've always wanted. The rich ruling class, and they've always been there and they've always been in control. There was this thing, there's a guy named Adam Smith back in the day. He was a Scottish philosopher and economist. And he referred to the rich ruling class as the masters of mankind. And he said that they all prescribe to what he called the vile maxim, which is everything for ourselves and nothing for anyone else. And when they founded this country, it was founded in a way that they made us think we had democracy, but we didn't really have democracy. Because when you have democracy, it means the majority rules, and the majority were the poor people, what we later on refer to also the working class. They weren't the rich. And the rich were afraid that if they gave us democracy, we would come and we would take their land and take their property from them because we had nothing. And that's what they feared. They didn't want us to have democracy. They wanted us to think we did. And here's another thing. I mean, even if you go back to, I was reading the Articles of Confederation, which was our original Constitution before what we know as the Constitution came about. And in it, it talks about these rights and privileges and everything. And it says, for all free men, excluding paupers, which is poor people and vagabonds, also poor people and fugitives. So basically, they were saying that rights and freedoms are only for rich people. Only for rich people. That's all they wanted, and that's how it has been. And I mean, Noam Chomsky keeps talking about how, like, they don't want us to have democracy because democracy is not in their favor. And another thing, and that's the whole thing, they want us to hate each other. They want the blacks to hate the whites to hate the blacks, everybody to hate the Mexicans, hate the Muslims, hate the Jews, hate everybody. Because if we hate each other, then we can't unite. And they don't want us to unite. They don't want us to unite, and they don't want us to have democracy. The system was set up from the beginning so only rich people would have the ability to participate in democracy. And they're terrified. They're terrified that we may change things. Because while you're worried about, the Mexicans come over and take all the jobs, first of all, if that's even true, they're taking the jobs you don't even want. And the whole thing is, no, they're not the problem. And the problem isn't the people working in the sweatshops because they're being cheated just like everything else. The problem is the rich, the super rich, not even the 1%. You get like that, 1/8 of a percent. They're the most rich of the rich, man. These guys are like quadrillionaires, or who knows. I probably can't even count how much money these people have. And they want us to be poor. They want us to be miserable. They don't want us to have hope. They want to give us enough hope to where we don't freaking blow up the world or something, but not enough hope to give us freedom to make us participate in the democracy that they don't even want us to have. I mean, seriously. And since I'm getting into that, every time it just makes me laugh every time we go to war. We're helping spread democracy. Really? Because between the 60s and the 90s in South America, they were busy overthrowing democracies and putting in death squads and dictators to secure American interests for them, like their fruit and the oil and whatever they have. I mean, you take all these countries where we're going in there and getting oil. Well, take Iran. Yeah, now Iran's run by the Ayatollahs and all that shit. But before that, and before the Shah that we installed, they had democracy. They had democracy. They were a democratic country. They weren't giving us access to cheap oil. So we engineered a coup, and we put in the Shah, who would do what America wanted. And they hated him so much that he screwed these people over so much that they were so willing to let anybody else come and save this from the guy. So now they got the Ayatollahs, and it's worse than they ever were. But you know what? If we would have minded our own business and stayed out of this crap and stopped ripping off these countries and all these people of their things, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, we need to stop. We need to stop being separated by our skin colors or our religions or even our class, because we're getting to the point where there's only two classes now. There's the super rich and there's everybody else. And that's the whole thing. And this idea that got us in this head, this consumerism where all that matters is ourselves and all that matters is material things. Nah, man, they got us all mixed up. Man, it's time to fight the power. It's time to participate in democracy and hey, man, vote for Bernie Sanders. I mean, for all we know, he could be just like everyone else, but the system seems to hate him so much that he must be doing something right. Being in that case, he might not do everything for us, but the thing we can do is we get money out of politics, and you don't have to have $1 million to run a campaign. Maybe we'll get to the point that we will have true democracy, and ordinary people like you and me will be able to change things, to participate in democracy, to decide what we're going to do, instead of spending billions of dollars on frickin', what were they, F-35s that we can't even frickin' use, all these weapons of wars, things we never use, invasion fleet that can go in and take everyone over. Or do we want to spend the tax money on stuff like, I don't know, better education, not for the rich, for everybody. Better education, better health care, something better than Obamacare, something that gets rid of the insurance companies, which are the problem. It's because we use the same insurance things. Nah, the whole thing needs to change. That doesn't mean we throw out Obamacare. No, we build on it. We build on it and we build on it like we did with the Constitution. We didn't throw the Constitution out. We just amended it. So let's frickin' amend Obamacare. Let's change things. And plus, we need more than just health care. Everybody should have adequate eye care and dental care. I mean, hell, out here in Texas, we don't have crap worth of insurance. The insurance, you still can't afford to get anything done with the insurances you do get. But I mean, come on, man, we need to stop. We need to stop hating on each other. We need to stop blaming everybody, especially the Mexicans that come over because they just want a better way of life. No, no, no. Let's put the blame where it belongs. On the super rich, on the corporations. They're selling us out, man. They're selling out America. They've been doing it my entire lifetime. It's time to stand up and say enough is enough. We want power, and we want it through nonviolent ways. We need to find a way to achieve it, to take over the government to the point where ordinary people can have a part to do with, something to do with it. I mean, come on, man. Are we going to just keep the system that's screwing us over, or are we going to do something to change it? But I think the one thing we can do the most is get money out of politics, make bribing politicians illegal. Well, that's all I have to say. That's it for this edition of Chris Speaks. I'll see you next time.